Next, we're going to start with a high knee march. So we're going to start with a good posture that we just found, and then we're going to do a high knee march, marching our knees as high as we can without compromising that posture. If you have some space available, go ahead and use that space, and you can go back and forth across the space like I'm doing here. If you do not have any space, you can certainly do these standing in place. That is really good. The focus of this, outside of the posture, should be getting those knees up as high as you can while maintaining your balance. If you need to hold onto the wall or something, feel free. Shooting for about 10 or so marches with this one. Next, we're going to do a butt kick. With the butt kick, again, starting with our good posture, we're now going to bring our knee and our heel back behind us and march across our space or standing in place, whatever the space allows. Thinking about pulling our knee and our heel back behind us, maintaining that good posture, going for 10 or so of these marches per side. Very good. Next, we're going to do a straight leg march. So the goal with this is to start loosening up our hamstrings, warming up the backside of our leg. And notice I have a slight bend in my knee, and that's to allow for my muscles that are very tight to start to slowly loosen up throughout this process without making it too hard of a stretch for them. Prioritize your posture over how far you go with your arm or how much you reach your foot. If I were to not prioritize my posture, I could easily touch my toes, but that's not the goal of this. It's to maintain really good posture and get that leg as straight-ish as you can while we get a dynamic hamstring stretch. So about 10 or so of those. Again, use the space you have, keeping that good posture. Good. Next, we're going to do a shallow lunge. And what this is going to look like is we're going to start feet about hip width apart. You're going to step forward. It doesn't have to be very deep and wide, and it doesn't have to be very deep. What we want to do is maintain this posterior pelvic tilt that we found, and that's going to help keep some tension in our hip flexors. So we're going to go, I'm going to do this with the space that I have available here. I'm going to start out, nice posture. I'm going to step forward, tip my pelvis back. I got a nice stretch in the front of my hip here. I'll hang out here for a second or so. Then I'm going to step together, reset my body, and now step with the opposite foot. Tip my pelvis back, get a nice stretch on the other side, and repeat the process. Again, if you have some space, go ahead and use that. If not, you can do these standing in place and just alternate your feet. Make sure you're thinking about that good posture, and as you've seen me do, I'm often having to reset my posture between repetitions. I think that's a really good habit and practice to get into, to make sure that you're not just going through the motions and rather getting a lot of value out of each of these warm-ups. Once you've done about 10 or so, that's good. Okay, next is going to be the grapevine. This is where we're going sideways across our space or standing in place, and we're going to cross one foot over the other, and then go wide with your feet, one foot behind the other, wide with your feet. And we're just going to repeat that pattern. And again, if you don't have much space, just use what you have. If balance is an issue, you can hang on to furniture, you can hang on to the wall. Make sure you're safe with these. This is not worth falling down. We're trying to warm up our body, get our body ready for activity, and mobilize our hips, ankles, knees across the board. So we're shooting for about 10 or so of these. Doesn't have to be fast, instead getting this nice rotation. Good. Next, we're going to do a ankle and foot warm up and lower leg. This is going to be a toe walk. So we're up on our toes, heels off the ground. We're trying to maintain that really good posture, And we're just gonna walk tiptoe across the space that we have, trying to be as tall, as high as up on our feet as we can the whole time, maintaining that good posture. If you get a little cramp in the ankles or calves or anything, just back off, use the wall for balance if you need it. Use the back of the couch if that's more appropriate for you. And we're just gonna go 10, maybe even 20 steps with this one since we're taking a little smaller steps. Very good. Next, we're gonna do a heel walk. So same concept, but now our toes are off the ground and we're on our heels. This one can feel pretty awkward if you haven't done it before. Again, use the wall or the back of the couch or a chair or something stable for balance so you're not having to worry about falling if that's an issue. And we're just walking through our space here, back and forth or in place, about 10 to 20 little steps to warm up the feet and ankles. Good. Next, we're going to do a deep lunge. This is referred to as the Spider-Man lunge. And so, again, use the wall or a table or, a back of a couch or a chair, something that's stable to help you get up and down if you need that for support. Otherwise, what we're doing is we're stepping forward in this nice deep lunge. We're dropping our back knee to the ground, dropping our opposite arm to the ground, our same side elbow towards our foot, and reaching up towards the ceiling. And then we're gonna stand up. Again, use support or help if you need that. And we're gonna switch sides. So now I'm gonna step my other foot, opposite foot forward, opposite knee to the ground, hand to the ground, same side elbow towards my foot, reaching up towards the ceiling, and then repeating that. And we're gonna do 2 more each side. These don't have to be fast. In fact, I would prefer them to be nice and slow and controlled. The goal is to get a good deep stretch. So mobilized into our front of our hip. You might feel this in your hamstrings, in your hip adductors, the muscles on the inside, the muscles on the back side. It just depends on where you're tight at and kind of where your body needs that mobility the most. You might even feel it in your ankles and your quads. There's a lot of things happening here. So once we've done 3 each side, then we are done with these and we will move on to the next. Again, those are our Spider-Man lunges. Very good.